part about you is going to your website, trance-formation.com. You actually get back to these people. So many people say that they were saved because of you, but also I know a lot of therapists that use PTSD at times to heal because, or they use it in groups, all over the country of people healing. The problem is that there aren't enough. You and I we have a vision someday of having the ability to have a place where people can go, but there's really not enough. And there's not enough people out there, but there are more and more. And I think so many people are inspired by you and your work and your fearlessness. A lot of people say, the shame, the guilt, the this, the that. You've been the one person out there that said all of that's a waste of time. There's nothing there. You're just going to stay stuck. And I think it's because a lot of therapists out there, you and I have discussed many times as well, that they don't really know what to do either. And you really have handed everyone these keys. You and Mark helped you, and then you guys put it in book form. And I know millions of people in this world, not in America, in this world, have used your book, which is very simple, very easy to follow. And that's amazing. Something I just want to reiterate something here that you've taught me, and people have to really understand. It's called trauma-based programming. We keep having this intense chaos coming at us from information warfare. You talk a lot about psychological warfare, information warfare. That's part of how they manipulate you very young. And now we're in a situation where every day we're being thrown distraction after distraction. People are explaining things, and I want to, and then you bring up false flag and people go crazy. They don't know that we're not saying that it didn't happen. We're saying that it was manipulation of people, of the masses, through a trauma event. Can you explain what a trauma event is? You learned about this at the highest, and when we say that you were at the highest levels of of this in the White House and CIA and NSA and all, I mean, the highest of the high. Kathy was involved with the presidents, with international, her story. Everyone that has not yet read Kathy's story must. And then looking at it right now, you have to know God is good and God can heal anyone and save anyone. But Kathy, can you please explain what a trauma-based terror event is and why they do them?
Trauma is the basis of mind control. Pedophilia is the worst trauma basis of mind control, which is why that's being pushed so hard. But any trauma, any traumatic event is like 911. That traumatized the nation.
Right.
We had a global trauma with mind control masked as a virus. It's horrible what was done. People have a fear of death. And so then they were made fearful of that. And then they wore a mask and limited oxygen to their brain necessary for critical analysis-free thought. And they compromised their own principles. They didn't want to do it, but they needed to keep their job. And then the injection, which is its own trauma. And we're watching people have horrible effects. We're losing loved ones every day. Horrible trauma. This is horrific, deliberately imposed for control over those of us who are experiencing these traumas. But as people compromised and gave in to just so they could keep their job or whatever, they lost belief in themselves. They stopped believing in them. When people don't believe in themselves, they look outside themselves for answers. And they're right there ready to provide us with, mislead us down the wrong path and keep us working jobs and exhausting ourselves, because exhaustion is a component of MK Ultra mind control. It's coming at us from many sides, but trauma is the basis of it.